welcome back to the Next Big Thing podcast. I'm your host, Diditi, and today I'll be speaking with Ashlee Keating. Ashlee's launched her smash hit song Saucy in the summer, which swiftly gained popularity as an anthem for both female empowerment and the LGBTQ plus community. You might have also seen her in movies such as The Bandit Hound. She has also been on CBS as a contestant for Star Search. You might have also seen her on YouTube covering Bruno Mars' Locked Out of Heaven, which got millions of views. Recently, her rendition of the timeless holiday tune Santa Claus is Coming to Town is sweeping the pop music industry, and the song just premiered last month. Ashlee, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. That was such a nice intro.
All right, amazing. Tell us a little bit about your song and about yourself.
Well, long stories. I'm just kidding. But I am a South Jersey girl. I'm originally from South Jersey, near the shore, and I grew up there, and I have had a long career. I've been in the industry my whole life and always knew, like, I popped out of my mom knowing that I was going to be extra. I was going to be a performer. I was going to be a singer, a dancer, actress, like all the creative things. And I just knew that. It's kind of crazy. So by the time I was 3, I was on a TV show called Al Albert's TV Showcase, which was in Philadelphia on ABC there. And I sang a song every single week on TV, and I was only 3. And I would tell a joke, which is also part of my personality. I was just like, yeah, I love to laugh and have fun. So I did that. And then a few years later, I ended up booking the role of Gretel on The Sound of Music in The Sound of Music on Broadway. And that was the most amazing experience of my life. And that really just, was a pivotal moment in my career. And I was only 6 years old at the time. I was kind of like a child star that way, where I was doing performances and interviews and going. And then I also went from doing the Broadway production to the national tour of The Sound of Music with Richard Chamberlain. And I loved the cast and everyone involved. And it was just such an amazing experience. And Broadway's iconic, and I would totally do it again. And yeah, so I did that, and then kept doing a bunch of plays and doing some acting and music. And then another big thing that happened, I was on CBS Star Search when I was 10 years old. And that kind of was like another pivotal moment for me, where I, was 10 years old and they flew me out to Los Angeles. It was the last episode of the season that they would pick new artists for that to come out, fly to Los Angeles. So I didn't think I would get it. And I got there, was, I had to keep auditioning to get on the TV show. I got on the show and I won and lost the whole thing by 1 point, which is so crazy. But it's funny because that was the first time I was ever in Los Angeles. And I always loved like the vibe of Los Angeles. I just thought it was so beautiful, the palm trees, the hills, and like, you could be somewhere completely different in 45 minutes. And I just always loved Los Angeles. And I told my mom that, like, while I was here for CBS Star Search, I go, I'm going to live here someday. And she looked at me like I was insane. I was 10 years old. And it was just like probably a lot for her because they flew me out here with my mom. And anyway, and not shortly after that, after I was on Star Search, maybe 4 years later, I had gotten discovered by a producer, and he wanted to work with me on some original music. And that's kind of when my pop music career, I became in love with like the first day I ever was in the studio was like actually recording like music for like a play. And it was like a new play and locally. And I got in the studio and I just fell in love with the studio. Like there was just nothing like it. I was, with the headphones in front of the booth. And it was just something so natural to me and felt like magic. And I don't know how to explain it, but that's when I knew I was like, I have to be in the studio all the time. Like, this is something I want to do. So then I would just kind of like, record covers, and anybody that could do music in New Jersey, like I would do music with, and just, work on my crafts kind of thing. And then after that, a little bit, they actually asked for demos and stuff before I was on Star Search. So that was kind of great, practice for me. But yeah, 4 years later after Star Search, I was, discovered by this producer and, recorded some music, and it ended up on Radio Disney with this program they had going on called the Incubator Program, which was for up and coming new artists. And They would play my music for 2 weeks straight on the radio in rotation. I got to do so many amazing performances with Radio Disney. They're literally, I mean, honestly, I give them all the credit of like starting my pop music career, because I still have fans from years ago, you know, today it's still following me, sending me pictures of when they saw my shows. And I'm just so forever grateful for the Radio Disney family. And that was the first time I heard my music on the radio. And it was just such an amazing experience. And I got to open up for like Demi Lovato, Keke Palmer, who's killing it right now, Raven Simone, who I love, and also Jasmine Sullivan. So it was just like such an amazing opportunity and experience, and I'll never forget that. And that's kind of like when I started doing original music. I had a song called My Boyfriend and Some Days Are Like That. And they did really, 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 really well. And kind of took me some time, like from then till now, to kind of like find out my new sound, what direction I wanted to go in. And I'm trying to keep this short. It's like a long story, but like long story short, like I kind of was trying to find myself more and more. And I was going through a relationship at one time, like at one point in my life, and it was kind of toxic. And so I like had no producer at the time, no outlet really, like TikTok, like I wasn't even really able to go on. I mean, TikTok was a thing, but I wasn't on it yet. I was kind of late to the game. And so sometimes like I'll go on TikTok and be like in my creative vibes and just kind of like go through like producer tracks and stuff and start writing. And so I didn't even think to do that, or I didn't even do that at the time. So I kind of went on my couch, and I was in LA and I was by myself, I was on the couch, and all of a sudden this whole track and like melody, everything kind of like came to me out of nowhere. And it was for my song called Hurt Me So Good, which is the first song that ever charted for me on Billboard. It was in the top 10 on the dance club charts, and a whirlwind that I never thought would happen. But long story short, I was just on my couch and I was like, you got me feeling this way. And that's like how the song starts. And then I kept writing it. And then the production came to me like with guitars and drums and all these things. And I had been connected to a producer who they actually wanted me to cut some records that had already been, you know, demoed and written. And while we were on the phone, I was like, hey, like, this is super random. Like, can I play you like this thing that I wrote? Like not long after, like I had done that, this happened. And I was like, hey, this is like, I'm kind of insecure and like afraid to send you this right now. Like, I feel like it's shitty, but can I send you this? Like, it was a voice memo of the song that I wrote, Hurt Me So Good. And he listened back and he called me like immediately and was like, yo, this is really dope. Like, this is cool. Like, I think we can do something with this. So, when we got together and cut a bunch of records, I ended up not even releasing the one that they wanted me to cut. And Hurt Me So Good ended up being like the standout of the few. And we got it together, we collabed and made it happen. But yeah, it's a whirlwind, because that was like the first song that, you know, did amazing for me. That was kind of, you know, top 10 Billboard and started a whole new thing for me. And I was still at the time trying to figure out my artistry, to be honest. And I feel like I always am evolving. Like I'm always like, there's never that point where I'm just like, I'm going to stay the same. Like I get bored and I like to stay in my lane, but always create something new and evolve from it and become better and better. So, but yeah, I had released a few things after that. And then over the pandemic, like obviously we were stuck in our houses, and I moved back to Jersey for a little bit. And I feel like that's when I really started to tap into like my new sound, which is really, really more Ashlee. And it's only evolving from what I have coming out. I'm already evolving from it, but it's called Saucy. She's saucy. Yeah, so like, it's kind of funny. Like I was trying to work on a new project. Obviously music like low key saved me during the whole pandemic, because it was my outlet. And like, I got on my guitar, like I didn't have these nails, but like I got on my guitar. I don't know how Dolly Parton does it. Like I need to learn from her. But anyway, so yeah, I got on my guitar and just started like writing and doing new covers, getting more into my social media stuff, but just tapping into me, like being back and seeing like all the music that I used to listen to, which was like, I listened to a lot of pop and like I did Broadway stuff, but like, I listened to like Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, like Erykah Badu, like like a lot of like soul and R&B, and then also like, you know, hip hop, a ton of hip hop, which is really random, like 90s and 2000s hip hop, and obviously like the pop icons, you know, and then anyway, but like, you know, Britney, Christina, Justin Timberlake, you know, Michael Jackson, like all those people, Madonna. But yeah, so like I tapped into all of that, and then I kind of like started finding more of my roots and what I wanted for a direction of a new project for me. And that's how Saucy started evolving. And I actually did my sessions like this on Zoom during the pandemic, and we did songwriting sessions. Then I obviously got into the studio to cut my vocals and everything as like the pandemic was getting better. But Saucy, like the whole story about Saucy is, you know, obviously I wanted like a female empowerment anthem, something that was like, you know, giving that bad bitch energy. And Saucy is that. It's all about being the best version of yourself, not being afraid to be that extra girl and extra person. Like just do you and be saucy. You know, Saucy is self-expression and confidence and empowerment. And anyway, so I went to my birthday, and like the pandemic was slowing down. I came back to LA. This is around the time I was about to like get in the studio, whatever. And my girls and I were like having birthday dinner because we couldn't do anything else. Like it was finally the time where we could like go out and get dressed and at least go out to dinner. So we were all so excited to see each other again. And we went out and we went to this restaurant in Malibu, and we just kept like feeling ourselves, and like everyone looked amazing, like head to toe, like we were on point, you know? And so when we went to dinner, we were just like throwing Saucy around, and it was just really funny because I didn't think I was going to name my song Saucy by any means. But while I was in my writing session, I was talking about my birthday and like kept kind of throwing the term out. And that's how Saucy came about. Like literally it was just like, and I was like, but this is what it is to me, blah, blah, blah. And we wrote it, and it ended up like being the very first session that we had together, like writing session, which is so crazy. Like it was organic, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like forced. And I feel like those are always the best sessions because you feel it like happening in the moment. But that's how Saucy came about.
And it did become an anthem for many people about like female empowerment and being yourself and being strong, and channeling that saucy persona.
Yes.
I also wanted to talk to you about your latest release, the rendition of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. How was that process like? How did you come about making this song?
It's really funny because this is another, like, sometimes I just am creative out of nowhere. Like, swear to God. Like, I just love when it's just like in the moment, because that's the best creativity from me sometimes. Like that comes out of nowhere. And basically with Santa Claus is Coming to Town, I love holiday. My fans love holidays when I do like holiday music. I've had a lot of success with holiday music, and it just brings so much joy to everyone. And so this song, like, I love Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Like, I love that song. I think it's so catchy. It's fun, you know, and some of the lyrics are cute, like reminiscent to me. And so I decided, I was like, hey, you know, like, I think this would be cute. Like, this would be fun to do this. And I wanted to I think what makes it really unique is that it's not necessarily a Christmas cover that you would hear. Like, it's like literally Christmas in the club. It's very like upbeat, dancey, with my soulful voice. The way I'm singing is very soulful. And I knew that my fans, you know, in the LGBT community, as well as like my fans in general, would enjoy this cover. And when I did the visual, like, it all kind of came to life with the team and everyone with me. And I really wanted to like be giving, you know, fierce energy, as well as like head to toe, like the looks and everything, as well as, you know, dancing, and just, I don't know, just wanted to give that fierceness to Christmas, you know, and that naughty, nice, like it says in the song, energy, you know, and that's kind of how it came to life. And it was just really fun. And everyone's loving it. I mean, it's doing so well on TikTok right now. And I'm just like, I'm so grateful that people loved it. So yeah.
Congrats on that. How different is it to, like, what's the process and how different is it to make a Christmas song and just like a regular pop song? Like, how is that process any different?
I think everything is different. I think it really just depends, like the mood, the vibe you're going for. And I like to not overthink things too much. I like to just be in that creative energy, that vibe, and kind of go with it, because I feel like that's always coming from somewhere. It's definitely more specific, you know, it's more specific of how you want to go about, like if it's a holiday song, a Christmas album, whatever it may be. So it's different every time. But I think, yeah, holiday is just more specific. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. And you have also worked with producers like Tommy Brown and Nick Cooper. Tell us a little bit about your experience working with them.
It was great. You know, I really love that. So his company is Champagne Therapy Music Group, and everyone at the team is just so insanely talented. It's like blows my mind. I'm just like, what, you know? And I remember being in my writing session and like creating melodies, and like Tommy Parker was someone I collabed with lyrically, and he's done a ton of stuff as well, like work with Janet Jackson and a million people. And I remember him like getting in the vocal booth and like spitting out a melody, and I was just like, huh? Like, you are crazy. Like, you're so talented. And, but like our vibes together were so good. Like, we laughed, we had fun. I mean, we wrote our sessions over Zoom, which was super dope. And like, it's a moment that we'll never forget, because we were like literally in the middle of the pandemic. Right. So, yeah, I mean, they're just all insanely talented, so dope to work with. And I really think that we were able to tap more into that, you know, soulfulness of myself, and bring a little bit more of that side of Ashlee to my life of my new project and my new single Saucy. And there's only more and better things to come. But I really, really enjoyed, I knew when I talked to them, I was like, I think, you know, I had a few different people I was talking to work with. And, yeah, at the time that was just the right situation, but love them.
I also want to go back to your songs being on Billboard, like top 20 chart. How did you feel when you first heard that news that your song was doing so well? Like Billboard, it's a big thing.
No, I definitely cried like multiple times. I feel like I cried more in excitement though with certain things. Like when I heard my new music that I just did, like I definitely cried in the car when I heard the mixes. Like I don't even know how that happened, but I was just crying. But it's the best feeling in the world. Like it's like you almost like you work so hard all the time, and it doesn't really sit in until I let it sit in. So I'm just like in kind of this bubble of like, what's happening? You know what I mean? Like, I'm a workaholic, and I work really hard, and it doesn't really hit me, but like it definitely eventually hit me. And I was just like, wow, this is crazy. And the crazy part of it is people still know the words to Hurt Me So Good. Mm-hmm. So when I went and performed Saucy at New York Pride this summer, after my song was dropped, Saucy, they literally remembered the words, and they were singing them back to me at the stage. Like, I was just like, I actually teared up that day, because I was just like, wow, this is such a full circle moment of like, we had we had those years of like being inside, but it's just the best feeling when you see, you know, it really connecting with your fans, and they feel something and they relate to it, and they put it on repeat, and just, there's nothing else like it. It's the best feeling in the world. And I felt so grateful to be, you know, on Billboard, and I'm sure there will be more.
As we talked earlier about like your songs being like empowering women and the people who are like marginalized, my question to you is, how have you been able to use your platform to advocate for social causes that you believe in?
I think it's just really important to do that no matter what. I mean, we have such platforms now with social media, you know, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, like we have every way possible to like give what you believe in out to the world. And I'm an artist that's not just about like releasing music. I always feel like I'm trying to make the world a better place, whether it's like based off of a single that's doing well, and then, you know, connecting with, you know, philanthropy and like, different charities and speaking different places. And I'm all about making the world a better place. So no matter how I can do that, I want to. And it's just so much deeper to me than just music and releasing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very important as an artist to use your platform and do whatever you can do that connects to you to bring that to the world and make it a better place.
Mm-hmm. I wanna. You're also an actress, like we covered. You dance, you sing, you do it all. Given your many talents, how do you manage to give your all in like whatever you do, from songwriting to making music to acting to talking to like bringing out talking about social causes and advocating for social causes? How do you manage to give your all into whatever you do?
I just don't think about it. I just kind of live in the moment of today of what I'm doing. Because if I thought about all of it, I would go crazy. I just do one thing at a time, and I'm like, okay, I'm here present in this moment doing this right now. What's next? You know what I mean? And I keep my creative juices like I'm very intuitive. So like if I randomly feel like I need to write a song, I'm going to write a song. If I have an acting audition, I have to tap into that side of my brain, like as far as, all right, what character am I playing? Who am I? How am I bringing myself to that character? Like I have to stick to that moment in that moment. So like if it's an acting thing that I'm doing, it's like I know from, this time to this time, okay, I'm going to go over my script. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to tap into the character. Then my auditions then are like, I'm on set, whatever. I just kind of take it. I think it's all about organization and also knowing that you have to be a businesswoman in this industry. Cause like, I'm always, calling my own shots is how I want it. And like, I'm very involved in everything that I do and every aspect of my career, head to toe, like everything. And so it is a lot. It's definitely a lot, especially the more successful you become, the busier you become. And so I really just take it moment by moment and day by day. And if I'm doing something with, a charity organization, then, and I'm speaking somewhere or doing whatever, then I'm just going to tap into that in that moment. I think it's just important to not, and I'm still learning this like myself, to be honest, like to be present, to be calm, to kind of just let things flow how they're supposed to, and enjoying and savoring every moment. That's really it.
Amazing. Yeah, it's very hard. Like you said, like the more famous you get, like fame comes with a lot of cons and pros. And you've been in this industry for a while now, like ever since you were 6, like you mentioned earlier. And like from that journey to now, like what are some of the biggest challenges that you had to overcome as like a child entertainer to like now an adult, and what have you learned along the way?
I think being yourself is like the most important thing. No matter what you do in this industry, is just knowing who you are as an artist, as a person, what you stand for. And I think, there's a lot of voices that come, it's like now with social media, people say things all the time, or, you kind of get in your head. And I think for me, it took me a minute to like tap more into myself. And the more creative I am, the more that I'm not going to curse, but give an F, it's just the better it is, and it's definitely, it's definitely a journey, and you need to just savor the journey, enjoy the process. And there's always learning curves, and you either can get, keep being resilient, or just, and my thing is always be resilient, keep moving forward, keep getting better. And I think, I'm always learning. It's like, I don't like to look in the past. I like to look to the future and just keep learning and doing my thing, because and also I've learned a lot to be comfortable in the uncomfortable. That is a huge thing for me, because most of the time that's when breakthroughs happen, is when you're a little bit uncomfortable, or you just, there's a reason your best side of yourself can come out of the uncomfortable. So I definitely learned that. I mean, I'm always learning.
Yeah. I also, since we talked of learning, how did you find your like niche in terms of like music? You do like pop music a lot. So like how did you find that, oh, like I'm gonna go into this genre of music? Or like are you able to like are you willing to explore like other genres as well?
Interesting you asked that, because I'm definitely willing to explore, and I feel like the more I evolve, the more I'm like, damn, I'm really like, this is why I'm so unique, like, because I have a lot of flavors of me, and I think people perceive or see one thing and like want to keep you in a box sometimes. But I think that it's important to do you, but it's also about the right timing and how you do it and how you evolve into who you are, and more of exploring sounds and different things. But you're never gonna be bored with me, because I feel like my sound and my music, I'm very diverse as an artist. God gave me that gift of being like very unique, and music is truly like my blood, my heart and soul. Like, it's just, I have to be in it 24/7. Like, I just love music so much. And, but yeah, I'm definitely a little flavor of this and that, and it's going to come out more and more, so I guess people just have to like wait and see, but hopefully they love it. I always get scared. I'm always like, if I'm doing something a little different, I'll be like, so it really just depends, but I'm definitely very diverse for sure, and not afraid to explore things.
Who would you see yourself like collaborating with, like in the future, or who would you like to like collaborate with?
There's a lot of people. Definitely Nicki Minaj for sure, and like I love Jessie J. Obviously, Bruno Mars. I'm obsessed with him. I love his soulfulness. Like, I think our voices together would be insane. Also, Sam Smith, I love. He is killing it right now. He's also very soulful, and I absolutely love him. Who else? Oh my gosh. I have a list of people, to be honest. It's like insane. But off the top of my head, those few people right now for sure. Who else? Post Malone. I love Post Malone.
Yeah.
Love him. Like, he's very diverse like me, and I feel like our vibes and energy would be crazy together. Lizzo. I love Lizzo. She's also bad bitch energy, female empowerment. Do you, like, I absolutely love her, and I think we could come up with a total anthem. And yeah, so I mean, there's just a huge list of people that I would absolutely love to work with. Also, you know who I met recently? Baby Tate. And I love Baby Tate. She's she's like, I was at the Teen Vogue event, and we were like hanging out backstage, and she's also like female empowerment too. Like, the song that blew up for her, she's like newer, but I absolutely am manifesting that her and I are going to work together. Like, hands down, we would be so fire. That would be dope.
No, that would be a crazy lineup. Just you, Nicki Minaj, Baby Tate, Lizzo, Post Malone, all in like one album, or like a collaborative album.
Oh,
that
yeah.
would be amazing.
Yeah. There's definitely a list, and I'm going to manifest some of them. Also, Cardi B. I love Cardi, So.
Yeah, great lineup. I also want to talk to you about, since we're talking about female empowerment, what does it mean to you to be a female artist in this music industry?
Can you like explain a little bit more of like what you mean by
you've been in this industry since like a young like a girl to like a womanhood, like you went through stages in your life. So what does that mean for you as an artist, and how do you channel that into your artistry?
I think it's definitely important to, like I said, do you, be you, and not be afraid to express that. It's definitely more difficult, the eyes that have seen you like growing from this baby to who you are now. And I think the most important thing though is just to not care and just know who you are personally, and do you. People are always going to have opinions. People are always going to say things. And I'm learning this too. It's kind of like, who cares? Like, you can't care. You just can't care, and you can't worry about what other people think and say, and just do you, because you're helping people more than you think you are through your music and through them relating to it. And those are the ones, like, there's always going to be haters. Like, there's always going to be haters, and then there's going to be supporters. So no matter what you do, just do you. That's it. And I think being a woman in the industry is a beautiful thing. And like I said, I'm all about empowering us and empowering women. And, you know, we're on a new wave now. So we're just, we're killing it.
Yeah, we are. Yes, we are. And my last couple of questions to you, Ashlee. What message do you want to give to your audience through, like, your music, or someone who is afraid to be themselves or are struggling with that?
I think take time for yourself. Don't rush it ever. Like, even if you're just trying to find yourself, I mean, I'm always like finding something new about myself, to be honest. So it's like, it's normal, and be easy on yourself. Like, don't go so hard on yourself. Be easy on yourself, be gentle, be kind, because what you say in your mind, you know, kind of can develop into the universe and what you're doing. So, and your mind controls everything. So try to, you know, make good affirmations to yourself. Like, I'm beautiful, I'm blessed, today's a great day. Like, I'm strong, you know, things like that. Saying those affirmations to yourself really can change your whole mindset. And I've recently learned, like, when I'm really, really busy all the time, running around, like I was running from a fitting to then a rehearsal. And I was like, you know, in LA traffic and a million things, being on the phone. I was like, okay, let me just take I took like 3 deep breaths in the moment while I was stretching before my rehearsal. It changed everything. It centered me. It made me like just come back to life and be like, okay, focus, you know? So I think it's just important, you know, it doesn't happen overnight to find your true self and who you are and who you want to be. Like, just be easy on yourself, continue to be you. Don't be afraid, you know. And in school, there's a lot of mean girls and mean people. And to be honest, even with me, sometimes I feel lonely, and like, I'm like, my friends, I'll be like, I'm alone a lot, you know, unless I'm working sometimes. Like, and LA, there's a lot of fake people. And I just think that you're not much different than me. Anyone who's going through something, you're probably going through the same thing as me, to be honest. Like, we're all human, and we need to remember that. And I think also on social media platforms, it's like, it's so not real. Like, it's not real. Like, I had my assistant say to me, she was like, oh my God, if anyone knew what we just went through in the car and like what you were dealing with, and now you're here and you like all these videos that look amazing that you're going to post and pictures. And I go, this is why social media is not real, because we're not showing our true, genuine selves. I try to do that as much as I can, like, as possible, because I don't always look, you know, that amazing and gorgeous. And it's like, we're comparing ourselves to people that it's like, we're not in glam 24/7. You know, we still wake up out of bed with no makeup and feel shitty some days and whatever. And I just think that it's so important to like still share that, which I do, because even myself, I'll be like, I don't feel cute today at all. Like, I did a TikTok the other day because that was literally me. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to wear no makeup, glasses. Like, I rolled out of bed, which I did, and do that because I think it's important to share it. And so anyone that's going through something, I really, really try to use it with my platform and also through my music to remind people that we're human, we're going through something, continue to be yourself. And that's really all you can do, and just be kind.
Thank you. Ashlee, you have such a vibrant personality. And like you said, you have so many flavors. You're saucy. You're doing it all.
Saucy.
So what can we expect from you in like your future upcoming projects?
Definitely some more of the saucy vibes. Probably like it's going in that direction for sure. But it's also like my new music's very, a lot of the things we spoke about kind of relate to what's coming. And I'm excited to share it, and they can expect, the same vibe, but a little bit of this and that. And also hopefully the lyrics they'll be able to really, really tap into and relate to. So I'm very, very, very excited for people to share. I mean, for people to listen and for me to share it. And yeah, I hope they can relate, but it's going to be, I'm so excited for next year.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to see what you produce. Hopefully you get the lineup. I'm waiting for that. Someday it's going to happen, and I'm waiting for that. Yeah, I'm waiting for that. And with all that, we've come to the very end of our conversation, Ashlee. Thank you to our listeners and viewers for tuning into this conversation. And thank you for Ashlee for your time and speaking with me today. And for Next Big Thing, I am your host, Diti Kadel.
Thank you for having me.